Without further ado, I would like to bring you Doyali Islam. She will be reading an article that was recently released. If many of you are not aware, there is a guy, I forgot his name, I think it's Yenesew, who set himself on fire in Ethiopia like a couple of days ago. So that's a very sad and tragic story. It was posted on ESAT, one of the Ethiopia's independence medias, I guess maybe the only one right now in terms of television, or that can be broadcasted all over the world. So she will be reading the article related to this individual, Doyali. Thank you.
I'll read this article. It's called Ethiopian Activist Sets Himself on Fire by Yenesew Gebre, and excuse my pronunciation. A young Ethiopian activist and teacher, Yenesew Gebre, died after he set himself on fire in Dauro, Waka, southern Ethiopia, to protest against the injustice, corruption, and atrocities the local community as well as the people of Ethiopia at large have been suffering under the brutal dictatorship of Meles Zenawi. The 29-year-old Yenesew Gebre, who was a respected teacher, set himself alight on Friday, November 11th, and died at Tercha Hospital on Monday, 14th November, from the severe burns he suffered. Family sources told ESAT News Desk. In what appears to be a tragic climax linked to the local uprising in Waka town, which was sparked by maladministration and injustice, there have been protests in the past few weeks. As a result of the growing movement, a number of people, including elders, have been jailed. Yenesew was also detained for nearly a week, but was released on bail pending further court hearing. After a spate of protest rallies and a lengthy dispute between the representatives of the Meles regime and the Dauro community that tried to air their grievances, a public meeting was called on Friday, November 11th by senior government officials, including Elemaye Esefa, a deputy governor and political affairs chief of Southern Region. It was during the meeting that Yenesew Gebre stood up and spoke out bravely, telling the authorities that the people of Ethiopia have had enough of corruption, injustice, and oppression they are suffering at the hands of the Meles regime. When security agents tried to stop him and throw him out, Yenesew calmly started walking out of the meeting hall, but he suddenly poured benzene on himself and set himself alight in front of the shocked gathering. The incident threw the meeting into total disarray, and the community members at the meeting reportedly started railing and venting their anger at the local officials and security forces that were trying to control the situation. According to ESAT sources, Yenesew was very angry at the injustice people were subjected to at the hands of ruling party officials. It also appears that Yenesew had been fired from his teaching position due to his political views and unswerving stand against human rights violations, tyranny, and oppression. Yenesew clearly wanted martyrdom when he told the gathering that people should no longer suffer from tyranny and injustice. While fire was engulfing his whole body, he was calling for justice, freedom, and democracy, and urged people to rise up against the oppressors. He wanted martyrdom, and I have no doubt that Bouazizi was on his mind when he chose to sacrifice his life for the sake of liberty and justice, another local source who witnessed the shocking incident said. According to close friends, Yenesew suffered great pains as a result of the burns. He was widely respected and a star teacher at his school. Well-read and a highly conscious activist, Yenesew was known for raising serious issues and challenging authorities. Before he chose to follow the footsteps of Bouazizi, he was said to be one of the organizers of the peaceful protests that rocked Waka town for several days. In a bid to quash the uprising in Dauro zone, the federal police and government secret agents have reportedly sealed off the town. The regime has cut telephone lines so as to prevent the news of Yenesew's martyrdom from spreading across Ethiopia. ESAT will have special coverage on the Waka uprising, signaling the birth of an Ethiopian Bouazizi that wanted to inspire Ethiopians to emulate the Arab Spring, toppling and crumbling entrenched dictatorial regimes in North Africa and the Middle East. I call upon the people of Ethiopia to immortalize Yenesew just like the Tunisians have done in recognition of the sacrifice of Bouazizi. It is our time to claim our freedom, a close friend of the martyrdom.
Thank you very much, Doyali. I guess we can keep him in our thoughts and it can be motivating us again to do good things. It's hard to live in the world full of injustices that is happening everywhere. It's not only in Ethiopia, it's everywhere, including Canada. And we would like to actually acknowledge the people who are occupying Toronto at St. Jamestown Park. So we should be thinking that the enemy that we're fighting, it's not about the president of Ethiopia, the president of Nigeria or whatever. It's about the corporations and the businesses who have control and manipulate systems all over the world and using the leaders as a tool. So we should recognize that and we should work hard to make them suffer the way they make us suffer.